You are listening to Survival Stories with Jacqui. Welcome, survival warriors. If you are a victim or survivor of trauma, then you're in the right place. In this show, we'll explore the extreme strength displayed by victims of trauma as they journey through life to the survival pinnacle. My name is Jacqui, and I am so grateful to be here today to share my survival with you. Here is this survival story. Let's dig deep. Hello again, survival warriors. And today I have for you an excellent episode in which I'm introducing you to my friend Scott, who is a self-directing healthcare professional. How about that? He's got a lot of value for you, a lot to tell you about his services, but first of all, he's going to tell us about what led him to that point. The point is that even though we sometimes walk a dark road, as survival warriors, we always look for a solution to take us in the right direction. So without saying more, I'm going to introduce you to Scott, and let's have a look at his story. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show. Can't wait.
We're happy to have you. And what we're really wanting to know is what makes Scott so happy today? What makes Scott so fulfilled? Tell us about yourself.
It's been a journey, that is for sure. So I love the name of your podcast just because life is a journey, life is a school. And when you talk about survival, it truly is the survival of your healthcare, of your system, of whatever it may be that you're going through, and that there's always a light of hope. There's always that helping hand out there trying to find you, and you're trying to find it. And part of our journey, the past 10 years, just under 10 years, has been exactly that. So speaking of that, for myself, my background is actually in printing and marketing. I'm a business entrepreneur. I've had my own business for many, many years. 10 years ago, my wife, Andrea, she's an ultrasound tech, so she's a sonographer. Right? So her background is very Western medicine, science, biology, all that sort of fun stuff. And 10 years ago, she fell ill. Okay, so it started to go into, it wasn't that bad at the beginning. The first year, it was sore shoulder, sore neck, and stuff like this. And we're just like, okay, it's just a common thing because you're an ultrasound tech. You always get a sore shoulder because of the position you're always in. The problem with that is it started to snowball very quickly. And when I say snowball is, there's some good documentaries that we're going to talk about for people to watch to understand what I'm talking about and to give them some as well. So we're going to go through some of that in some books that we found and stuff like that these guys can download off of Amazon or whatever. And it will truly give them some guidance as well. So at the beginning is, do you know when you sleep on your arm and it falls asleep and you basically move your arm, start moving around, but it's sore for like 10 seconds?
Yeah, I do that more often than anything else.
Okay, so that pain that you felt for that 10 to 20 seconds was my whole wife's body for years, all the time.
Wow.
Right? So that was just the beginning of it. Eye pressure, migraines, headaches, joint pain that she could barely walk up the stairs. Right? So when you try to walk up the stairs like a normal person, right? She'd have to put one foot forced, wait, other foot, same step. This one. Like it would take a long time. And she was 45 years old. Like this is not right. So we started seeing neurologists, the family doctor, blood tests, MRIs, CAT scans, you name it. We went through all the different practitioners. And going through all of them, it becomes very dark. And when I say dark, when you're dealing with chronic pain, chronic illness, emotional trauma, mental trauma, physical trauma, that's a burden on your mind. And it creates a depression hole. And it's a rabbit hole that starts pulling you down the rabbit hole. So with that was many, many years of this. And we found that we had to turn to other solutions to try to find a better path because what we were doing wasn't working. So we make light of it now because it's kind of funny, but we turned to Dr. Google and Dr. Facebook. right? I literally call them Dr. Google, Dr. Facebook on purpose because there's just such a massive information out there, which could be good, which could be bad, but it's research that you can do on your own.
Yeah, and it's really, I can understand when people don't know, because when you have chronic pain, it's exhausting to even drink a cup of coffee without having to
just drink a cup of water.
through.
Just getting to the kitchen is a problem, right? Just leaving your space is a problem, right? And that's the sort of things that I want to shed that light of hope out there for people, because there is an easier way. There is possibilities. There are tools that are simple that can help them get through the day, and then through the week, and through the month, and then through 6 months, and then through the year. It starts expanding. The light gets brighter and brighter. So just to continue down the story with that is, we couldn't find much hope, and we couldn't find the problems with our society and our medical system is it's not integrated. When I say integrated, if you have your family practitioner, you have a chiro, you have all these different doctors and modalities, they don't all talk, right? It's not, here's Scott Manduck, here's all of his information that he's done over the past 2 years. What's wrong with this picture? What is he dealing with really? They don't have this system. So you need to create it yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And that is what we did. We actually created, we call it like a health binder. So when you're dealing with chronic pain, chronic illness, I encourage you to create this health binder. How are you feeling today? What did you eat today? What medication did you take today? Did you feel worse or better after that? Right? Make some notes. Because when you start seeing your other practitioner, you can go in with your binder, they can actually scan through it and get a better idea of what you're dealing through. Because right now, they have no clue.
Could I just ask, all of that relates, what you're saying makes perfect sense, but a lot of it relates to what you've put into your body today. And you said, how are you feeling today? Wouldn't there be an element of interactions you've had with others today? Because I can't imagine that during all of this time, that the relationship between your wife and others went smoothly, because other people tend not to understand chronic pain in the same way as the person who's actually suffering from it.
Absolutely. So it's such a good message, because that is part of the weight of depression and anxiety on the person that's dealing with the issues. Because a lot of people don't get that. We'll go for a camping trip up with the family and we have to leave early because we're not feeling well, right? They don't get it. So then not all of them, some of them like, what the heck, they can't stay the whole day, and it becomes that problem, and it's part of the burden. So what we do is, not that we want to separate, but you start picking and choosing the people you want around you of the right energy body. When I say that is the people that have the right energy that you want around you to uplift you versus push you down. And that's super crucial. And that's a big part of your healing. It's part of almost like Reiki, but it's not, because Reiki is part of like an energy body, right? So if you surround yourself with good people, good things will happen. If you surround yourself with bad people, bad things happen. It's just typical. It's just the way the universe works, right? So you start really fine-tuning the people you hang around with just for that reason, that purpose. And that's a good thing, because you want to get rid of the toxic people in your life, because toxic people are just as dangerous, if not worse, than eating toxic food or taking chemicals internally. It's the same. So
100% agreement.
Right? So that there's a big part of it. So going back to the journey when we were turning to Dr. Google and Dr. Facebook, we started basically narrowing down our symptoms and trying to figure out what is what. We came across a really good book. And this was really our big kickstart, really the big kick in the pants that we needed to really start looking down the different rabbit holes of holistic wellness. And it was a great book by Dr. Amy Myers. And the book name is called The Autoimmune Solutions. And we didn't think we were dealing with an autoimmune issue or anything like that, but what this book really taught us is about inflammation in our body, right? So when your body is dealing with chronic pain, chronic illness, whatever it may be, even depression, anxiety, all these ailments, right? You need to get your body back to base, and you need to put your body in a position to heal itself, right? That's super important. We need to give our body the tools to heal itself. So our body is designed to heal itself. We just need to give it the right tools, right? If I drink 20 cans of pop today, I'm not healing myself. Do you know what I mean? And that is a big part of dealing with different things is food becomes the crutch, right? So we need to start looking at food as medicine, right? And in that book, it's phenomenal. So what it does is it allows you to minimize and to reduce and to eliminate inflammation in your body, specifically in your gut health. Your gut is your second brain.
So was that your first point of call?
That was our first point of going, interesting, makes sense, resonates. So let's give it a whirl. There's no harm in doing it because from the readings, it's kind of like, this makes sense that I need to take this journey because I need to reset my gut health. And my gut health runs my body, right? Because your gut and your brain are basically your two brains that run your entire body system, right?
Okay.
So when you start feeding it the right tools, your body gets in a better position to start receiving and giving you different triggers to go, what? All these other ailments that I was dealing with or symptoms have now suppressed a little bit. Now it's going to start showing some other symptoms that you can actually now fine tune. And that's exactly what it did. So within a very short period of time, reducing inflammation in her body started presenting other symptoms that we now knew. It's like, okay, everything was coming from the back of her neck, which was triggering a lot of the other parts in her body, like her shoulder, right? And her lower back and her feet. So by reducing your inflammation, by doing this, it happens fairly quickly. And to give you another quick example is my mom. My mom is 68 or 69 years old. And she has fibromyalgia. She is overweight. She's allergic to tons of different types of food, tons of medications. She can't take any pain medication whatsoever. She has no cartilage in her knees, so she can't walk that well. And she fell, and she had to go to the hospital. She got checked out, and they actually found out that she has some issues with her blood cells in her body. So they actually stopped her from flying. He said, if you fly, you're going to die.
Oh, no.
Pretty much that simple. So she had a choice to make. Do I want to live this lifestyle, or do I want to try to make some changes and have a better life? And it took her about 6 months to make that choice. And then she said, all right, Scott, what can I do? And then my wife and I basically had a quick conversation with her, and we basically changed her diet slightly. And within my mom's ankles were literally about this big. They're swollen, right? Very big ankles. And that is kind of the first sign of big inflammation in your body. So if your ankles are swollen, the rest of your organs in your body are also swollen, right? Internally. And it's putting your body into fight or flight mode. So you need to address that, right? With the fuel that you are eating and drinking every day.
That's interesting to me because you've just described to me my mom's ankles, and she's tried to get help for them because she can't walk properly at the moment. But she's been told medically that there's nothing that can be done because she's diabetic.
I call bullcrap right off the hop. Bullcrap. Don't listen to it. This is what I mean. This is the light of hope, people, that I want to make sure that I come across very strong in this is we love our practitioners. We love our doctors. They're doing the best they can. They're knowledgeable people. You are your own human. You're your own body. Do your own research. If you're incapable, talk to a family member that is in the same boat, that you guys get along, and get them to do some research for you. Reach out to me. Let me know. I would love to try to help you with some of those things. This is what I do every day. Every day, 7 days a week.
Let's take a break a minute there, Scott, because that's quite a lot to take in. And
Sure.
After the break, I want to ask Scott what the psychological effects are. We're certain about that there is a physical effect on many.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how can we find relief from the psychological effects? That's your question for straight after the break, Scott.
Awesome.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Jacqui, and you've been listening to one of my friends tell their stories today. I invite my friends to tell their stories to help you heal. If you do have any trauma or any difficulties that you think we could help you with, please visit my website, jacquiandfriends.com, and leave a message or contact me, and I'll be happy to connect you with either today's friend or anyone else who you've listened to or watched who you think might be able to help you further. Or if you just want to talk to me, that's great too. So, I'm gripped. I'm sure you're gripped too, because this is all real world issues here, which we could walk down the street and find many people who suffer from this, because you can see it physically, but as we posed for Scott before the break, there's a psychological effect, and it's upsetting, and you feel like you're all alone. So Scott's going to take us from there and continue with this fascinating talk. Back to you, Scott.
Perfect, thank you. It's a psychological and mental, emotional trauma. They're all combined. Once your body starts to heal itself, it's a natural ladder inside your body for you to actually start digging yourself out of the hole, literally. And when you start to see the transformation, as we're describing my mom's ankles and your mom's ankles, where they're this big, and then literally within 9 days, my mom's ankles went from this to where I can actually put my hands around them. That is a mental shift, an emotional shift that goes, I'm getting better. This is amazing. I didn't know this was possible. My doctor said I'd never be able to do this again. How is this happening? I walked with a stroller, like with actual one of those walkers, and now I can walk without a walker? How is this possible? Like, the doctors told me this would never happen, and I'm now doing it.
Stop teasing me now, Scott. Take me through, take me through.
Right? And this is through this book that we found by Dr. Amy Myers, The Autoimmune Solutions. It's not like that we wrote it. We just came upon it and go, holy crap, this is music to my ears. This is magical at the basic sense that's not going to cost you a fortune, and it's some basic information about food, right? Stay away from the sugars, stay away from breads and gluten, right? Get away from the dairies, stay away from the caffeines, the alcohols. All the other stuff is okay. You can have chicken, you can have steak, you can have wild fish, you can have fruit and veggies. That's a big menu. It's not like you're going to be trying the keto diet where it's not a sustainable diet, right? You're changing some of the foods that you're eating in the morning, afternoon, and dinner to give your body a chance to heal itself. You're resetting your gut biome, which is super important for a lot of people that are dealing with so many different ailments. You need to start with your gut health, right? And now I'm going to take you through a little bit of a journey that's just going to blow your mind, as it did mine, when it comes to your teeth.
Okay.
I had no idea that your teeth are literally the breakers to your body, right? So they actually control a lot of things in your body, which we did not know.
Your teeth.
Your teeth, your physical teeth, right?
Okay.
My wife had 2 root canals done at the back of her mouth, right? The back 2 molars on the right-hand side, which was very connected. I don't know if that was you or me, that are connected to her body system. And then your teeth are connected to different organs. So she had a root canal done about 6 years ago. 2 root canals, sorry. And it was really weird because within that year, she was always getting different x-rays and different dentists poking and prodding because something just didn't feel right. Something felt off. So we came across an ad on Facebook that said, get a cone scan. They'll check to see if you have bacteria and all this sort of stuff. We're like, what? What the heck? Nah. So we asked a friend of ours who's a dentist. She said, yeah, it makes sense. You should probably get that done. She's like, okay. Lo and behold, we get a cone scan done, which is like an MRI, if you will, of your mouth. So it actually looks for bacteria.
Okay.
The teeth that she had the root canal done. So to explain a root canal in basic terms is that you have roots in your jaw, if you will. They pull the roots out, they put screws in, and then they put a cap on it as a fake tooth. Okay? That's a root canal at its basic level. What they don't tell you is when they put the screws in, they drill out the actual root, they put the screw in, they leave a small little space at the end of that screw. That's in your mouth. It's wet, it's moist, it's warm, and there's dead part of your skin that is in that hole. What do you think is going to grow? Bacteria. Not the bacteria that you want in your body, right? This is bad bacteria. So after we did this cone scan, we found that she had bacteria growing inside those 2 teeth for 5.5 years, right? We found a holistic dentist, which I didn't even know that was a thing. We found a holistic dentist to remove them so all the bacteria doesn't go back into her body to affect her system. Lo and behold, when these 2 teeth came out, the bacteria size was the size of my pinky nail that was growing inside her body. That was poisoning her blood from the inside out. That is no joke. So like, now what? So she has 2 big holes in her mouth. We didn't replace anything, we just had them extracted. We went and we sent them to the States, because we live in Canada. We didn't have this here in Canada, to get a biopsy done of the 2 teeth. Lo and behold, there's 16 different types of bad bacteria at a very bad level in her body for 6 years that was poisoning her blood.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
So
Wow.
while we're looking at this, we found an amazing documentary. And people, please watch this documentary, because so many people are dealing with chronic pain, chronic illness, and it has a lot of it to do with their teeth. So in this documentary, it's called The Root Cause. It's only on YouTube. They took it off of Netflix because the Dental Association was getting sued left, right, and center. Mental note, people, right? A little bit of conspiracy theory there, probably, but watch it and learn and listen, right? So it's called The Root Cause, only on YouTube. So that story of that person was literally my wife's journey. Like, that was like, if you replace that person with my wife, that was literally all of her symptoms. It was insane. It was crazy. In the documentary, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's high 70s. It's like 73, 75, 78, I can't remember. Women that have breast cancer have a root canal on the same side. Isn't that crazy?
I'm speechless. This is fascinating.
It will blow your mind. So when I saw this, I was like, are you kidding me? So I was like, okay, so why isn't this known out in the world?
You just took the words right out of my mouth. You know, why don't people know this?
They just don't teach about it because it puts the dentist in a position of not doing things properly, and they can be sued, right? So let's pass that. So this is where the light of hope comes. This is where we were introduced to essential oils to stop the bacteria growing in our mouth. Okay, so we're talking a little bit about essential oils pre the show. And this is a big part of our journey to really, when I say a kickstart, this is like jumping from like a Toyota Tercel vehicle into a Lamborghini. Big changes started happening. And so you have your inflammation with food, reducing it. You have your teeth. Take a look at your teeth. That's mercury fillings. That's root canals, all these sort of things. Look at these items. Very important. Now, essential oils, we started finding out. I didn't find out until a little bit later, but essential oils is basically helping with the antibodies and the antibiotics, the bacteria growing in our mouth and stuff like that to make sure it doesn't come back and stuff like this. So it's like, okay. So our friend Tamara introduced to essential oils, and I'm like, I get this witchcraft stuff, this voodoo stuff. We don't need these oils. They're not going to do squat. They're not going to do anything. Because a lot of people don't, including me, it's like, what is an oil? Literally, an oil or essential oil, what's the difference? They just put an essential in front of it. Who cares? How is that going to help me get better? It's not. There's no way it's going to help. This was my mentality and the way my mind was working because we went through all this crap and none of these doctors were helping us. So I just felt very shut down and shut off because there's that light of hope again that no one was really help shining. We were finding this light on our own. And that is a big thing that I keep on saying is keep on fighting. You can do it. And reach out to people that have been through similar battles as you or similar symptoms and have a conversation. because those conversations are a light of hope for you to find different things that are triggers that can help you through your next little mountain climb that you're going. And sooner or later, you'll get the top of Mount Everest. You will get there, I promise.
But where would you start though? Because
the same part of where we started the journey.
That sometimes that depressive hole, that the darkness, the exhaustion, it just stops you getting up and doing what you're supposed to do.
We need to start at the beginning of our journey. Everything I'm telling you is we've done this in sections, and there's a reason why this has happened for us. So when we educate people and we talk to people and we talk to our clients and our customers, they say, Scott, where do I start? And it's a combination effect. Is let's take a look at what you're eating. Can we make some quick changes there? And then from there, let's talk about your teeth briefly, because that there's a simple fix too. And then let's talk about supplementation, enzymes, and essential oils. You can do those literally within a week, right? And it's not like you need to do everything all at once, like, oh my God, my head's spinning. No, it's super simple, right? Let's look at what you're eating. Let's get you started with some essential oils. And I'm going to talk to you about essential oils now that I'm much more educated over the past 10 years or 9 years on using them and how they actually work in your body system. So, and it is a process. It's a small little baby step. It's not you're going out and you're sprinting against Usain Bolt out of the gates. That's not the case, right? So with the essential oils, my wife started to use them for that. And I was like, no, get this stuff out of here. And then there's that one night. And this is where it was pretty deep. It was a pretty dark time because we're going through all this sort of stuff. Her body was still in fight or flight mode, and her body was still in a lot of pain, barely walking up the stairs. But we're seeing these different opportunities and lights that we can go, okay, yeah, we're going to start feeling better. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm downstairs about 11:30 at night, 11:15, 11:30. I don't know the exact time. And I was watching a movie. My wife has a bath every night. It's just a routine thing. So she puts her Epsom salts in, has a bath, whatever it may be. She comes out of the bath, and I hear some crying. I'm like, what's going on? And she's at the end of our bed in fetal position, bawling her eyes out in pain. I go upstairs. I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, just give me a second. I said, no, I'm going to call 911. Like, this is not normal. And she's like, just give me a second. I go, honey, I said, every second matters with something like this. Like, what are you doing? Like, am I calling them or I'm not calling them? Like, how severe is this? And right beside our bedside table, we had some carrier oil, which we'll talk about. And we had a little string of essential oils that we had. And I remember from our conversations, we had lemongrass and we had lavender there. And I remember lemongrass would be pretty good for nerves and stuff like that. I know lavender is good for your nervous system as well. So I was like, okay. So I grabbed the carrier oil, squirted it in my hand, and went all over me, all over the floor. I'm like, whatever, who cares? Lemongrass, lavender. I started rubbing it on her belly. Then I'm like, I'm going to call 911. I said, let's get dressed. Let's just go. I'll call my mom. They'll come over, watch the kids. We'll be all fine. So just give me a second. There's about 30 seconds. 30 seconds went by, which seemed like hours. And she started, it's like, okay. And then she sat up. And I'm like, so what happened? I'm a little bit of a jokester when it comes to stuff like that, because sometimes I just want a mind shift. And sometimes it's a good idea, bad idea to be like that. But my dad said, I'm like, so did you too? She's like, no. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, so what the heck was it? She goes, I don't know. I'm like, wait a second. And then it triggered in my mind, like, wait a second. I put lemongrass and lavender on her stomach. And it helped her. It helped support whatever she was dealing with. And I was like, what the word? I'm like, so wait a second. We've been taking Lyrica, which is a nerve blocking medication, which is super bad for you. Percocets, antidepressants, and this other pain medication I can't remember. For how many years? And I just put essential oil on your stomach, and we're no longer going to emerge? I'm like, okay, hold the front door. So I was like, I need to do more research on this stuff. And this is where the light of hope comes, people, because essential oils are super, super powerful. They're potent, they're pure. You need to understand how they work. I'm not saying that essential oils cure you. I'm not saying essential oils will heal you. What I'm saying is essential oils have the power to give your body what it needs to heal itself, right? I keep on saying that, right? We're giving our bodies tools to heal itself. So in my research, and I've had my own business for a while, as I was mentioning, so I've been sending messages to my team saying, guys, I'm not coming into work. I'm here for emergencies. Give me a shout, call me, text me, whatever. I need to work through this, and we need to figure out what we're dealing with, and we're going to get through this. And when we get through this, I'm going to have a lot more education and a lot more rock science tools in our tool belt, really, to really start helping, supporting different ailments. I was like, wow, this is cool. So I bunker down, and the way that I research is I market it. I market it to myself. So I built myself a website. I have that capability. So I actually built myself a website to understand all the different essential oils, how they work, how they can help our body, and how they affect us at the cellular level. So in my findings over the past many years is that essential oils, you can put them on topically on your skin, okay? You can breathe them in like I'm doing right here, right? You can breathe them in, or you can take them internally, right? Now, the big thing with it is not all essential oils are created equally, which I found, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
No.
So you go to Walgreens, Walmart, you can go to the grocery store, the health store, whatever, just pick up peppermint essential oil, frankincense, whatever it may be. This is where I throw like a huge red, yellow flag in the air, is especially with, let's use peppermint essential oil, because it's a common one. A lot of people have heard of peppermint essential oil, okay? And if you haven't, there's a thing called peppermint essential oil. Peppermint is a natural product that you can take internally, right? Most people have heard of peppermint tea.
Yes.
Right? What is peppermint tea good for? It helps soothe your digestion. Right?
Yeah, so
Your stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our essential oil, 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the equivalent to 24 peppermint teas. Okay? That is super potent, super powerful. Okay?
That is. Yeah.
So now, take that snapshot and look at all the other essential oils that are in the marketplace. This is where the difference comes in. Is, say our peppermint oil, I think it's $25. I think it's $25 or $26, right? It's 250 drops, okay? Walmart, Walgreens, health store, you can buy peppermint essential oil for $9. Why is that? Let's look into that, because this is where the science and the healthy part really comes back to the person of what they're dealing with. On the back of that bottle, it says you cannot take peppermint essential oil internally. You can't put it on your skin, but you can breathe it in. Think about that. If I'm breathing something in, is it getting into my body? Is it getting into my bloodstream? Is it getting into my organs? Absolutely. Right? So when I started learning this, I was like, holy crap, are you kidding me? So you're telling me what I breathe in and what I put on my skin affects my cellular system and affects my body? And I'm like, holy crap. What do we use to clean our house? What do I use for shampoo? Even being a bald guy, I do wash my hair or my head, right? I'm like, holy crap. So I'm talking to my wife. I go, what do we use to clean like a lot of the stuff? So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. We're going to take all the cleaning solutions we have in the house, both bathrooms, the kitchen, the laundry room, in the basement. We're going to put it all on a table. Holy crap. We put it all on the table. Your mind would be blown the amount of chemicals that are in our cleaning solutions that are affecting our bodies on the cellular level. It will blow your mind. When you're dealing with chronic pain, chronic illness, and you're dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with, get rid of the chemicals in your life. Remember I said there's different forms of chemical, which is the people around you and the actual cleaning solutions and food. They're all tied. Get rid of the cleaning solutions in your house that are not natural. When I say not natural, if you're dealing with stuff, even depression, anxiety, you're in that deep rabbit hole, use vinegar and water and a couple drops of essential oils and the aroma that suits you. This will change your your mental state, because aroma affects you because you breathe it in and it goes right to your brain. It affects you on the cellular level. We emptied our house. We now use vinegar and water and essential oils to clean our entire house. We need a scrubbing agent. We add some baking soda to it. Baking soda, vinegar, water, and different essential oils. Now people say, well, it's not antibacterial. Yes, it is. Because there's different essential oils for different things. So we have essential oils that are antibacterial that actually are better than your Lysols and all this other stuff that are 100%, right? So when we started going down that rabbit hole, we started finding a lot of different essential oils that can help support our body system and the different ailments that we're dealing with. So here's the big light. Big Batman signals coming up, and we're actually going to give you a little bit of some good news. Is we're now 3.5 years in. We're chemical free. We're medication free. She hasn't taken any medication whatsoever. And she is feeling way better. We're on a bike ride yesterday. We're playing badminton. We're playing basketball. We're playing volleyball. People, this is natural wellness at its best. Self-directed healthcare at its best, right? Our house has not had the flu, any cold symptoms at all in 3 years. Where before, we were sick all the time.
Scott, just hold there for a minute, because you've given a lot of food for thought there. And I'm sure you're helping a huge number of people to actually start thinking positively. Because I know with autoimmune diseases, and when the pain sets in for a number of years, people tend to start thinking it's the end. You know, they're going to be like this for life. But it's amazing that chemicals that we introduce so freely into our homes could be causing the problem. After the break.
Not causing the problem, it's part of the problem.
After the break, I'd like you to just continue blowing our minds a little bit more. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Jacqui, and you've been listening to one of my friends tell their stories today. I invite my friends to tell their stories to help you heal. If you do have any trauma or any difficulties that you think we could help you with, please visit my website, jacquiandfriends.com, and leave a message or contact me, and I'll be happy to connect you with either today's friend or anyone else who you've listened to or watched who you think might be able to help you further. Or if you just want to talk to me, that's great too. We're right back, and we are so drawn to this conversation because it's just like a simple solution to something that seems to take over so many lives. Scott, you gave me a bit of advice a few minutes ago about introducing a champion. Mm-hmm. Could you just repeat that for our listeners, please?
For sure. So it's when you're dealing with whatever it may be, because there's so many different ailments in the world these days, and there's so many different forms of those ailments. What I typically try to do is you need a champion, you need a person beside you, not physically, mentally, right? This could be a person on the other side of the world that could give you that little push, that little hope that you need to really get you just turning in bed, get the feet on the floor, and just to walk. You need somebody like that. And there's so many people that you just need to reach out. And when you find that person, you'll find that it's an instant energy connect. Like you've known that person forever. You've never met this person before, potentially. It could be your husband, it could be your uncle, your brother, sister, it could be your mom, dad, it could be anybody. But it's got to be somebody that is in a positive energy field, if you will, that's going to give you that first little, just a teeny little step. That's all you need. Because that first little step, that's a trigger in your mind that there's hope. I'm going to take this first little crawl to go, I can do this. And then once you start seeing a little bit of results, that is where it's no longer a baby step. It's a big step. It's a leap. And that is where that champion around you is encouraging you and guiding you, not even guiding you, because a lot of the guidance is you finding what resonates with you, and that's how we've gone to where we are. And we now have some pretty big champions around us. It's not just one. We have thousands. We have thousands of champions, and we can do that. We can put you guys in our circle and have a bunch of champions helping your team, your family, your loved ones through this.
Just taking a step back against what you said, having a champion is such a good idea, because it's like accountability. It makes sure that you're actually paying attention and focusing on the issues. Mm-hmm. But could I just ask, you know, where you said all essential oils are not created equally, how would one know which ones are suitable for the condition that the person is in?
Great question. I'm going to put a question back to you to see if it actually triggers with you, okay? So our peppermint essential oil that we use, I can take internally, okay? So it's safe for us to take internally, because peppermint is actually really good for your digestion. It helps cool down your body. So if you're really hot at night, sleeping in this hot weather, right? If you can put peppermint with a carrier oil on your feet, the back of your neck, back of your spine, temples, pulse points, and take internally, you can do all of them, right? And diffuse it, it's going to bring your body temperature down naturally, because peppermint has that. And it's really good for your digestive tract as well. Now, just think of what I just said there for a second. Now, let's take one of the other peppermint essential oils that we found in the store that says you can't take internally and you can't put topically on your skin. Does that raise a red flag for you?
No, yeah, because it would make me, excuse me, it would make me think that's quite limited in. Is
it limited, or is it has other stuff in it? Like pesticides, fillers, synthetics.
You see, right? What you just did was amazing in itself, because you made Jacqui Gold go,
Right?
I don't go speechless quite often, but wow. Right.
But this is the sort of stuff that is the marketing around the products that we need to pay attention to. And when you're dealing with chronic whatever, any kind of pain, ailment, whatever, we listen to the marketing because it triggers an emotion that will go, if I take this Tylenol, my headache's going to go away. I'm going to take that Tylenol, because that's what I always do, down the hatch. But what they don't tell you is in that commercial is what you only remember in that commercial is that Tylenol is going to fix my headache. But then it goes on for 40 seconds about all the side effects and the ailments that come from fixing your headache, right? That's the part we don't remember, because we're so focused on the one ailment that we're trying to relieve, we don't worry about all the side effects, right? So with that, it's super important for people to understand is what you put in your mouth, your body needs to find a way to deal with it, right? Our body's going to need to find a way to detox all the, I'm going to call it crap, because it's truly all the chemicals, all the crap that our body doesn't need. It needs to find a way to detox that. But our body can only detox so much. So if it can't detox it, what happens? It stores in our body. So when all these things start storing in our body, it's going to start showing up as ailments and symptoms, right? So we need to find a way to get these things out of our body. But first, don't put them in your body. Don't breathe them in. You know what I mean? And that's a true thing. You'll find that other things will start to feel better, see better, smell better. All these things, like when I walk through now in the mall, we used to be able to walk through the mall, and you know that soap store? I can't remember what it's called.
No.
Not Bed Bath & Beyond.
I know
Lush,
the one you're talking about.
Lush?
Is it Lush?
Lush, something like that?
Yeah.
Like if I walk by that store, within 5 seconds I have a headache. Why is that? Everything they have is all chemicals. in all their soaps. It's all the chemicals that you go through. So now your senses are hyper in a good way, because now your body knows, ooh, that's chemical. Our body doesn't want that stuff. Because now your body's in a position of taking natural products. Our essential oils are natural. They're made from Mother Nature. They're distilled properly. There's no synthetics, fillers, or pesticides in our essential oils. Because your body naturally wants to absorb natural things, right? That's what they say when you buy your vegetables or your organic vegetables, make sure you give them a wash, because some other stuff may have been around them, right? That's because you don't want your body to take those chemicals inside, because that feeds the fuel to all the inflammation, all the ailments that we're dealing with, right? Remember we talked about food at the beginning? This is the fuel that our body needs, but we need to reduce the chemicals around that, right?
This all
Chemicals around
makes
the house,
perfect
all
sense.
these things. Like we need, it's a flow of things that we need to pay attention to.
Let me ask you something. You've taken us on your journey, and it's a journey which I think a lot of our listeners will want to take. How would you advise listeners to go ahead today? And if that involves getting in contact with you, then please take us on this journey. Take us on what to do next, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm really paying careful attention to this. I'm mind blown.
It's super simple. One is, I want to make sure, we always say we want to teach people how to fish versus just giving them fish, right? We're about education. We're about educating our friends, our loved ones, our customers, our clients, because if I can teach them what I know and what we've learned over the past 9 years, I can guarantee it that one person that I just helped is going to help one other person, at least. If they're going to help that person's going to help the next person. So my goal is, reach out to me if you want. It's just Scott@DoOilsTribe is the email address. Find me on Facebook. I'm everywhere. Just look in Scott Manduck. On Facebook, you can do Doyle's Tribe at Facebook as well. And I'd love to try to just have a quick 30-minute conversation with you to understand what you're going through, and to give you some reassurance, some guidance to start working on some baby steps to go through it. And I'll do that for free. There's zero cost for you to reach out and go, Scott, let's have a conversation. There's zero cost for you. It's not like it's going to cost you $20,000 to get some advice, right?
There's no real effort there. It's just a reach out.
It's a reach out, and that's why we do what we do, is because people are fearful. Is when someone goes, send me an email, call me, it's going to be $100 for us to talk. Right off the bat, they're already triggering, this is going to cost me a fortune for me to feel better. Therefore, no, I'd rather just deal with what I got. And for us, it's, if I can give you some tools and education where you're already spending money, you're just spending it in the wrong ways and on the wrong things, potentially. Why not switch that up a little bit, right? Like, think about all the cleaning solutions that you buy, right? So after our talk, I'm going to challenge you, Jacqui, is to go to your kitchen, go to all your bathrooms, pull out all your cleaning solutions and put them on the table and go,
You know what I'm afraid of already? And I was going to say that, funnily enough. At this time of year, with the windows open and the doors open, get a lot of flies and wasps and bees and moths, and it becomes bug central. Yep. I know that I've got wasp and fly killer, moth killer, ant killer sprays just there. And my son goes absolutely crazy at us when we spray it. You know, he just says, stop it. How am I supposed to sleep in all of that? And he doesn't sleep well.
Yep.
Right? And you're talking and I'm thinking, bad mommy.
Right? But there's some tools that we could use there. Like, give me an example. There's eucalyptus, peppermint, or 2 essential oils that you can put in a spray bottle with some water, give it a couple shakes, and you spray it in the joints by your doors and stuff like that. And it helps helps with ants and spiders and stuff like that. And it's natural. It's 100% from Mother Nature, right? They're distilled in the certain places that it needs to be grown, where a lot of the other oils are, say, in the middle of, say, Utah or Chicago, and they have these big farms that are now medically created to create different essential oils. Well, you're starting off the wrong way, right? You're using chemicals to create a plant that's supposed to be therapeutic, and it's not, right? So that's why how all these things are created, it's super helpful. And your body, once again, will naturally want natural things, right? And we can use Mother Nature to help control certain pests that we don't want.
I consider myself told, because I am the queen of grabbing something straight off the shelf to solve a problem.
Yeah. We need to stop that. We need to stop and look at the bottle, right? We look at the beautiful marketing, like even with essential oils, I find it almost humorous because I've been in marketing my entire life. So I read through those lines, and on the bottle, this is the fake stuff, the bad stuff. It says 100% pure essential oils, organic, right on the front of the bottle. If you turn the bottle around, that's where you get the good stuff. You don't even need to read all of it. Read the first 3 lines. If it says fragrance, run the other way. Simple. If it has more than 3-4 ingredients, run the other way. It's super simple. We need to start reading the back of the labels. That's huge.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
That is so much education. Remind me of your website again. Let me write it down.
If you go to scottmanduck.com, that's probably the easiest. It has a little bit of the story that we're talking about today. It also gives you information about essential oils, as well as another product which we haven't talked about yet, which this is going to blow your mind a little bit further if I haven't already.
Well, please talk about it. My mind can take one last bit of blowing today.
Okay, so this is kind of interesting because it's kind of new. It's been in the last year. And like I told you, my wife is doing much better. We're doing much better as a family. We're off all medications and we're outside and all that sort of stuff. One thing that was always been an issue with her health over the past 9.5 years is energy. Physical energy. Trying to stay awake for the entire day. Wake up at 8 o'clock or 7:30 and stay up past 8:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? So this was an issue which I didn't know how to deal with naturally. So using essential oils, it got her through the day, got her through the week, got her through the month, got her through the year. We're now medication free, everything is doing good, but she's still taking naps. Because we're still dealing with all the bacteria that's going through her body. Right? Which takes a long time to detox that amount of bacteria and metals and stuff like that through her body. So I started doing some research, and we found that EMFs, you know what EMFs are?
No, please.
It's going to blow your mind. So it's electronic magnetic fields or frequencies, depends on who we're talking to. And this is radiation from all the things around us. What are you talking on right now? You're talking on a laptop, most likely, right? I'm going to assume the headphones that you have on are Bluetooth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have lights around you, you have the receptacle around you, you have a power bar around you. You probably have your cell phone somewhere, right?
Yes, it's right here.
Right. So with all that, you also have Wi-Fi in your house, most likely, right?
Yeah, it's over there.
Right. And you have cellular network outside your house, which is all around us, right?
Yes.
All that is radiation, okay? All that is radiation affecting you on the cellular level. So here's a little tidbit that's going to kind of go, what? With your cell phone, which mine is right here. If you look in the settings on your phone, you'll find the radiation statistics and what's allowable on your phone. So the FDA, when they approve the cellular phones, the carrier, and the physical hardware owner, if you will, so Apple in this case, They say the phones need to be 10 to 15 millimeters away from your head when you have a conversation for it to approve the sell of your phone to be actually be sellable in the industry. Okay, so that means I talk to people like this. How many people do you know in the world talk to people like this?
That's very true. But lately, quite naturally, I tend to talk like that, you know, on loudspeaker.
How many people in the world do you know that talk like that, though? If you're in a crowded place, do you talk on speakerphone?
No,
What do you do?
you go like that.
Exactly. So picture that in a 3-minute phone call, the radiation from the cellular call and around you from your ear will go to your eye, this far, into your brain. Okay? Now picture that exact same thing, exact same phone on a person that is under the age of 18. Our cranium, our bones, in an adult versus a child are very different. They're thinner. What does that mean? The radiation from that phone call, the exact same phone call, same phone, will go to the opposite side of their head, opposite side of their eye. That's a 3-minute phone call, and that is in your phone. That's just the radiation from the phone. That's not including the radiation that's around us. So now let's talk about that for a second. Okay? So right now I have a laptop right here. I have a 29-inch monitor right here. I have a 27-inch iMac right here. I have my phone, which is here. I have 2 speakers here. I got a printer. I got a light, and I got a power bar, and I'm beside a window. Okay? Now, if I took all this stuff out of my office and I put it next door, where it's not even close to me, am I still getting radiation?
No.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not now.
So if I'm beside a window and I have a cellular network that I have a signal, am I still getting radiation?
Yes.
Where are you getting it from?
The cellular network.
Exactly. And the electrical outlet right beside me, which is bad EMFs, bad power, right?
I forgot about
Bad,
that.
dirty electricity, right? So now think about that. And I was like, okay. So we came across a product last year, which is a smaller company. And I was like, okay, I didn't believe in what he was telling me. So everything I just told you is what he's told me. This is last year. So I was like, okay. I go, prove it. So we did some strength balance tests, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, okay, I could fake that as well. But I was still blown away on how he did some strength and balance tests. And I said, let me do a live blood test analysis, which that's a key one for people that are dealing with chronic illness, chronic pain, and weirdness. Write it in Google, type in live blood test analysis near me. Type that in. I don't care where you are in the world. Live blood test analysis
I'm
near
going
me.
to write that down.
Okay? So this will show you what this is it's going to, you know, when you get your blood tested, they basically take blood and they put it in a vial to go away and they give you a piece of paper saying, here's your blood work. You really don't know what happens behind the scenes. Here's the cool part, people, is with live blood test analysis, they prick your finger right in front of you. They put it in the microscope right in front of you, and you get to see it on a big 29-inch monitor right in front of you. And the technician will walk you through your entire blood. And what is in your blood? What is in your body? Right? You'll be able to see bacteria. You'll be able to see parasites. You'll be able to see digestive protein. You'll be able to see crystallization in your blood. You'll be able to see your immune system, if it's being suffocated, if it's thriving, if you're hydrated. You'll be able to see all these wonderful things in this test while you're watching it yourself. The cool part is you can record this yourself with your phone. Record it, take the information that the technician's giving you, do some research when you get back home. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I didn't believe what radiation could do to our body on the cellular level until I did that. Because everything we do affects our body on the cellular level somewhere, some form, okay? So when I did this is I did a blood test. We saw it on screen. I wore 2 bracelets. These bracelets have, it's called the Schumann resonance. You know what the Schumann resonance is?
No.
No. So the Schumann resonance, do you know who Nikola Tesla is? You probably heard.
But I'm all ears.
Right. So Nikola Tesla is a very famous scientist from way back in the day that coined the phrase Schumann resonance, which is the frequency and the vibration of the earth. Okay? You know that we're vibrational beings. Okay?
Yeah.
So our body has a frequency, right? It has a vibration. So when you have a heart attack, whatever, you go to the hospital, they take the pads and they shock you. They put electricity back into your body to restart your heart, right?
Yeah.
So take that mentality, if you will, or that thought, and now, do you know what grounding is or earthing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So there's a great documentary on YouTube called The Earthing Movie, right? It's only on YouTube. The Earthing Movie. Write that one down because that's a good one for you to watch and understand what I'm talking about right now. So what these bracelets have is the same frequency as the Earth, which is 7.83 hertz. Okay? That is the baseline for your body and your nervous system to run. The problem is with EMFs, it disrupts your nervous system and your protons in your body that it make them all scattered. And what that does is it actually takes and removes the oxygen in your body slowly. That's radiation. Okay? So that's 2G, 3G, 4G, LTE, and now our awesome, amazing 5G that's coming that's very dangerous. And all the radiation around us, like the laptop, the monitor, the other computer, our phones, and stuff like that. So it all has radiation. This takes a toll on your body system, okay, and your nervous system, and your cellular structure in your body. Because your protons are now doing this versus all lined the same way, which allows your blood to flow easier and faster, more oxygenated in your body. So when your body's not oxygenated, you're actually suffocating your actual immune system. When your body's suffocating and your immune system's suffocating, a lot of these ailments are now going to basically show its face, and you're going to feel kind of draggy, sleepy, fogginess. You're going to feel joint pain, all these weird things. It's part of the EMF radiation things around you. So when I had this live blood test, where I tested my blood, I saw it, all my blood was clumped together, slowly moving. You could see parasites, you could see bacteria, you could see digestive protein, you can see my immune system live on screen. I wore the 2 bracelets for 4 hours. The after video that I recorded both will blow your mind. My blood cells were separated. They were moving like a raging river. Parasites were 95% gone. Bacteria, couldn't see any.
And that was a Schumann bracelet.
This is the Schumann resonance, the Schumann resonance, which is basically vibrational, call it a vibrational bracelet, right? So this was this company, and I'm like, okay, maybe that was just kind of a fluke. Let me hire a live blood test analyst to come to my office. So I actually spent the money. I hired a technician to come to my office, and I brought 15 friends, family members, their friends, their family members to my office to do the exact same test, because I couldn't believe my eyes of what it was actually doing on one person. I was like, I need to replicate it. So they all came in. We did it on a Thursday. All of them got their blood tested. We videotaped the entire thing, gave them 2 bracelets, came back the following Friday, and every single person had a huge result in 8 days. Blood was separated, it was moving, parasites were disappearing, their blood was moving, ailments were starting to disappear. One person is my best friend's brother-in-law, Jim. He has anxiety to the point where he wasn't able to drive. Okay? Within 8 days, his anxiety level dropped by 80%.
Wow.
Mind-blowing. This is all from EMF poisoning that's around us that we cannot escape. That's why I said if I can take all my stuff in this office and put it across the street, do I still have radiation EMF poisoning coming? Absolutely.
Well, Scott, I have to say, as much as I'd love to sit and listen to more of this, I'm going to have to stop because you've just filled me up with so many questions and so much information. You're amazing.
It's lots of great information to help us. So it's literally just wearing bracelets. So it's not about the bracelet. It's about what's in the bracelet, and that's the Schumann resonance in this case. So I actually bought into the company me and 2 partners bought into the company, rebranded the entire company, and now put this part of our toolbox that we actually help people last year.
No, it's all important stuff. I hope as listeners you've been holding on to every single one of Scott's words, because I'm already I'm thinking that we need to bring him back again to continue, because
I'm here to help.
This has been, like I said, nobody makes Jacqui Gold speechless, but this has actually told me off, pointed out that I'm a bad mummy, showed me the way forward, and
don't take it like that. You're not a bad person. The problem is I was the same way. I just didn't know. So now we can take what we know and truly try to make the ripple effect bigger. Right?
Let's do it, folks. We have information that we have to use. I've always wondered about the radiation issue, and now I'm going to go and look at it seriously, because it's a biggie, and it's one that's only going to impact on us more over the next few years.
And people will ask, well, how'd that help my wife? She's no longer taking naps. She wakes up earlier and she's up until 11 o'clock at night with me, 11:30 at night, just so you know.
No, that's actually very important, because I'm sure
that closes that story.
If you guys have any more comments to make, please make sure you make them in the comments below. And as Scott has put you in contact with where you can find him to get more information from him, I'd highly recommend it. But on that note, we have to say this has been Survival Stories. That has been my amazing friend Scott, who has actually blown my mind today. Let's have a very quick bit of fun with Scott before we let him go. Get to know Scott. Do you ever have a cheat day?
Always, of course.
And what on a cheat day, do you not eat naturally?
Absolutely.
Or do you,
so I definitely have cheat days with that, for sure. You got to live life. And the thing that I tell a lot of people is, if you're in a space of where you're trying to heal, you got to live life, right?
Okay.
You can't be 120% in all the time. It's really hard, right? If you want to heal and give your body the tools to heal faster, live at 100% for a short period of time and then drop it down to 90%.
Okay.
Right? You got to live life, people. You got to live. Listen, have a couple beers, have a glass of wine, have a donut, have a piece of cake, whatever. Your body will tell you if it's acceptable or not. And I do. Like my daughter's, she's into baking. So she makes these little chocolate covered balls and stuff like that. I love them. You know what? So I cheat a little bit here and there. It's okay. But
that's
your life,
good to know.
You got to really live. You got to get healthy.
In Canada, it gets very cold from time to time. Do you wear gloves when you have a snowball fight?
Depends. If my son throws a snowball at me, which he's right beside me, I throw it right back with no gloves. It's all good. Yeah, we love it. Yeah. But it gets pretty cold here. You got to wear gloves. Frostbite very quickly. You can be -40, right? So.
Would you rather go for a run or swim?
Either
or nothing.
Both. I'm an athletic person, so I'm always moving. So either or both. I'm good with both.
Okay. Fair comment. So thank you, Scott, for everything today. I know you're going to be back with us in a couple of months to enlighten us with some more fantastic education.
Perfect.
I hope you have a good rest of the day, and I will see you, Survival Warriors, on the next episode. Have a good one. And there we have it, another empowering episode of Survival Stories. If you had something today that resonated with you, please reach out at jacquiandfriends.com and download our free PDF. Don't forget to head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review and rating. And whilst you're online, why not join our community of warriors on Facebook at Survival with Jacqui. Look forward to seeing you there.